This one going out to the Dreamcast.
All right.
All right. Happy birthday.
No happy birthday. That waits till the end.
Happy
Okay.
birthday.
First of all, thank you for watching. Me and him have been best friends since 6th grade. We're both in our senior year, and we're going to be talking to you about the Dreamcast hitting its 25th birthday. That's insane. All right, so a little basic information. Sega's last console came out September 9th, 1999. Famous date. I'd say my personal favorite game probably has to be Sonic Adventure. You know about the VMUs, and then you know about the memory cards and everything. You already know about that, so we ain't got to get into that. So I'll pass it over to him for a second because a few of you might not know what this is, but I'll let him take it away.
So this right here is the Sega Dreamcast. It is the fourth console that Sega released.
In the United States, yep.
Fourth mainline console. It is a 128-bit.
Yes, it was the only console that advertised itself as 128 bits.
Mm-hmm. It was the first console of the sixth generation. Sixth generation console.
My favorite generation, yep.
Mm-hmm. My favorite game on the Dreamcast would probably be Sonic Adventure 2, but also Shenmue 2.
Mm-hmm.
I did personally play through it on the Xbox version, but I have probably put a solid hour into the European version. Also very good. I personally enjoy it more than Shenmue 1, though Shenmue 1 is a masterpiece of a game and the first working game that I had for my console.
We'll get to that in a second. So another thing about the Shenmue 2, I got it for him, birthday present. I know. Good friend right here. Okay, so probably I think the coolest part about what we're going to share in this video is our personal stories and attachment with the Dreamcast. So, way back in 6th grade, this was like 5-6 years ago, we just started becoming friends. His mom was a little strict around consoles.
Did not like video games.
Guess not. So, I was like, there was a site that like had video game consoles, and I was like, what one would like fit him? And I don't know how we ended up on the Dreamcast. I mean, he was a Sega fan, obviously peeped the Sonic, but anyway, I don't know. He just showed up. This was like the second time we ever hung out. He showed up in my room, and I was like, you know what? I think we're getting you a Dreamcast.
Yep. I think he wanted the Dreamcast because the Sega Genesis just seemed a little bit too plain, a little bit too bland. He thought that the Sega Dreamcast was one of the coolest things, and he said that if you're gonna do Sega, you gotta do the Dreamcast.
Yep.
And honestly, I gotta agree with him there. The Dreamcast is a great console, so many hidden gems on it. So I'd say that it's probably the last true video game console. I'd say before they really started getting into the multiplayer aspects, online mode, and before it was the last console to really do arcade games, to make its own arcade games. It had Crazy Taxi on it.
Good game.
They experimented a lot. They experimented with online play with Choo Choo Rocket.
Yep, right out of the box.
Choo Choo Rocket, really nice.
Dial up.
Yeah, it was doing internet way back in, what was it?
99?
99.
98 in Japan, yeah.
98 in Japan.
We obviously were not alive for when this came out, but we still are around enough to appreciate it. We both got one. I got mine maybe like around a year ago, but I wanted one for definitely a while. It's honestly one of my favorite consoles. I think it's really cool. I was a Nintendo kid growing up. Not because of my parents, just because that's what I chose, Mario and all, but like I really did come to love the Dreamcast. And so once I showed him like what the Dreamcast was and we were going to get one, and it took a little convincing, maybe a little while to get it ordered, but we did get it ordered. And
Yep. And the thing was, especially back in the day, it was not very expensive either. It was not very expensive. I'd say that we got two VMUs for $12.
Actually, no. They were on GameStop.com for $3 a piece.
$3 a piece.
I see them now at game stores for 30. For $30 a piece. That is crazy. I'm not paying that. I was so excited. I didn't even own a Dreamcast, but I got us two VMUs because I was like, let's go.
Yeah, 10 times the price. 1,000% increase there. That's crazy. That's wild. Man. Yeah, that was a while back in the day. I remember the day I got it. Well, actually, This isn't my first Dreamcast.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It is not my first Dreamcast. The first Dreamcast I got was actually in much better condition than this one. And we got a copy, we got this off of a retro game site, and then we got a Sonic Adventure off of GameStop.
Yep.
And I got that Sonic Adventure, I got the Dreamcast, and I didn't have my driver's license. I was 6th grade. I pedaled my bike
Yep, we used
over
to
to
bike
his
everywhere.
house, and he met me up at an intersection. He couldn't even wait for me to bike to his house.
I remember it like it was yesterday. I believe it was 2019 because I remember the 20th anniversary of the Dreamcast, and now we're on 25. Time flies. So
Wow.
we met at the intersection, and it was in his backpack. And he's like, "Look." I open it, and it's like God himself smiled out of that backpack. Okay,
This thing was shining.
I pull out the Dreamcast, and like the sun and everything's just hitting it so magically, and we just look at each other. We're like, "Let's go to my house.
We gotta see it,
dude." We were going crazy on our bikes trying to get to my house and plug it in and play it. We had to see what the Dreamcast was like.
Yep, and we plugged it in right here. We are sitting in the spot that we
Right
first
here.
plugged it into, and we got that Sonic Adventure 2 slammed in there. We turned on
Sonic
the TV.
Adventure 1.
Oh, Sonic Adventure 1. We did start with the first one, and we got that slammed in there, and we turned it on, and boom, boom. It says, what did it say? Disc error. Trouble reading disc?
I just remember we clicked it on, and it has just such a nice click. And the Dreamcast is a pretty loud console. You hear it running, the light goes up, the swirl comes up. We're in awe. We are in awe of what is happening. And then it's just like, no game. And we're like, yo, it's in there. Just the most hype two 12-year-olds can possibly have, just down the drain. And we were just like, oh no, we were cooked.
No, I remember that sound effect of the disc error is in my brain.
Yup.
Because not only did we try several times that day to fix it, but we took it apart, cleaned the laser, and there's a screw in there to adjust the reading laser, to adjust the speed that the disc spins. And I remember adjusting that thing for hours back in the day, hours. And I was like, Zane, I think it's the game. I think it's the game. And he said, no.
Nope.
There's no way it's the game.
No way.
And I called up the retro game store and I said, hey, I think my Dreamcast isn't working. It's not reading the game. And they asked me what was going on, and I described it to them. They said, do you have another game? And I was like, nope. They were like, yep, it's the game. And I was like, I don't know. I just talked to a professional sixth grader.
Right here. I knew it was up.
And he just said it works fine. So I returned the Dreamcast, and then I got this beauty right here. And same issue happened, and I said, Zane, I think it's the game, and he said, there's no way it's the game.
No, I was swapping sides a little bit. I was like, okay.
No. You were firm on it was the game that was broken, or you were sure that was another console that was broken, because then you bought Shenmue. You bought Shenmue, and then I remember my mom didn't want me having more video games, so I smuggled those into my house. I had them in my sweatshirt. And I smuggled them downstairs.
That's actually crazy. I did get Shenmue on Dreamcast and Shenmue 2 on the original Xbox from GameStop.com. That just kind of screwed them over with the Sonic Adventure. But I'll admit, like, I know a lot of hate for GameStop back in the day, back when they were a more prominent business, but they never really did me wrong. Like, everything that I ever bought for them worked, so like, sad for other people. I guess I got lucky, but that's how it went. I was so excited. I was buying him VMUs. I was buying him Shenmue because I was just happy for this guy to get a Dreamcast, and
I appreciate him for it.
We made it work. Those were some definitely good memories. I think it took about maybe 3 weeks, maybe a little more for him to get his Dreamcast. I'd call him up every day before he even had a personal phone. I was like, yo, where's it at? Where's it at, dude? I was so happy. Dude, like this.
Oh, man.
This probably like was one of the first milestones of our friendship, bonding just over this console, and we just dived right in. And a little bit more about mine is I wanted one probably since he got his, but it took me a little longer to get it. This is my personal copy of Sonic Adventure in the box. What's special about this one is even when his console worked, the Sonic Adventure that he had...
The console technically never did not work.
That's true.
The game, when we got a better version of the game that actually ran, the Supersonic stage at the very end, it would play through the whole stage, then right before you actually play as Supersonic, stopped loading.
Stopped loading.
Stopped loading. Would not work.
At the boss with chaos.
And yeah, and I had Sonic Adventure 1 for like 5 years and never played that last stage because it wouldn't load.
About a year ago, we took a trip and I came back with this right here. And I even remember going through the like whole annoying section with Knuckles and then whoever that chick was, one of the echidnas, just waiting for that level to load. Just waiting for that level to load, and then it would crash every single time. So I went through that one last time on this copy. It finally loaded, and just like 6 years later in the making, he finally got to beat it. And I just remember him because I was playing it for him. He goes, I don't mean to be rude, but can I get the controller? And I was like, bro, take it. Bro, take it. You like, deserve it.
That was something that was like 5-6 years in the making. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that felt like a
full circle moment
right there. Yep. Once I beat that boss and that music played, and I was just, wow. The boss is all right, but the story behind it, it was truly the story behind it that was just so fulfilling. That I finally got to fight Chaos in the true final bit of the game. I guess that was the first time I really completed the game.
Yeah.
Ever beaten it.
I have not gotten yet to beating it. I've tried multiple times. Kind of like San Andreas for me. I would start it like a million times, play the first few, and never finish it. I did finally beat San Andreas, so this is next up on the list. I love Emerald Coast. If I could be anywhere in a video game, Emerald Coast is just peak peace right there. Like, that's nothing's coming against it.
That's true. That's real nice.
My final thoughts on this is just one of my favorite consoles. I think it's one of the coolest. Sad Sega's gone, but they definitely did their way out pretty nicely. And I got a green VMU that's pretty nice. And here's what the memory card looks like again. Just a regular one, not a VMU. And I guess, yeah, it was one of the last full, mainly consoles. I'd say maybe the GameCube a little bit too. But yeah, this was one of the greatest to do it with arcade games. Yeah, anything else you'd like to say?
Oh, wow. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we should just go a little in depth on why we have our favorite games on the system.
My favorite games on the system, obviously Sonic Adventure, definitely. I'm a big Crazy Taxi fan. I'll admit I'm not the greatest at it, but like, you cannot beat Crazy Taxi. I beat the game, Crazy Taxi. I did beat it. Okay. I got that S rank. I could never do it again in my life. But yeah, I was on the Crazy Taxi grind, and I got to see those end credits. Jet Grind Radio, which I do not have. Neither of us have, but I do have Jet Set Radio Future on the original Xbox, and that game's pretty fire. So, I mean, at least the Xbox, we got to experience some things we didn't get to experience on the original Dreamcast, but that's okay. As long as we get a play and we're good.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd have to say... it's probably a tie between Sonic Adventure 2 and Shenmue 2. I believe we chose Shenmue 2 in this video just because of the significance that it has with us specifically, how Shenmue 1 was the first game that actually worked on my Dreamcast. But I'd also say that it's tied for my favorite game, really. It would be either that or Sonic Adventure 2. I gotta say, the reason why I like Shenmue 2 more than Shenmue 1 would just be that in Shenmue 1, Ryu knows where he's going. Ryo Hasuki.
You got it, yep.
And he knows where you're going. He's like, oh yeah, let's go to the flower shop. And you'd be like, where's the flower shop? Do you know where sailors hang out? It's
fun thing about that.
Oh yeah, tell them the story. I can't.
So he came over one time, and I was like, okay, we're gonna beat the first disc of Shenmue because he already did it. It was my turn. I was like, let's do this. Very famous line. Do you know what place where sailors hang out? The very first person I talked to was like, oh, go over here. They got you. And I was like, and he looked at me and goes, I spent hours looking for that. And I was like,
the one person. Maybe there's like 2 or 3 people, but like the one person, because it's the same person that I talk to, that tells you where to go, that progresses the game. I talk to literally every person except that one. And this guy, playing through the game, immediately goes to them. And I could tell that he didn't see a walkthrough or anything because he just so happened to be standing next to them when he got like assigned what to do.
Yeah, I walked out of the arcade.
He just turned to the left,
straight forward, and boom.
And it was just sheer chance, and I was
That's
a bit
how it goes.
jealous. But the reason why I like Shenmue 2 so much is because he's in a new place as well, and so you feel a lot more connected with the character because you don't know where you're at, and neither does Rio. So you have you can also be like guided through by the townsfolk, and there's so much more to the game too. I mean, like, you could work a job, you know, that's not just lifting crates at the harbor. Yeah, you can
Can never forget
lifting
that.
all the heavy construction work. Racing chickens. You can race chickens. Funny story about the first time I played through it on the Xbox. You can gamble. You can gamble.
Oh,
and
okay.
First time I played through it was on his Xbox, set up also
Right over here.
Yep, right to our left here. And
I was taking
playing it.
intermittent naps, okay?
No, not intermittent naps. He was sleeping for the night.
Okay,
he was sleeping for the night.
But I kept waking up, and every time I wake up, I'd go like this. I'd look over at him sitting over here, and he just smirk at me. I'm like, "Are you still gambling?" And he's like, "Yep." I'd fall asleep for another like 2 hours.
Oh my goodness.
I'd wake up again, and I'm like, "You still doing it?" He's like, "Yup." I'd go back to sleep.
I was up until I think 4 a.m. playing Lucky Hit on Shenmue
Dude,
2.
and every time I woke up, I'm like, "Man, you should probably quit doing that. You should probably quit doing that." But no.
I can't believe that I got into and out of a gambling addiction before I even learned how to do algebra. It's amazing.
Yeah. I'd like to talk about Sonic Adventure 2 just for a quick sec. I do think it is better than Sonic Adventure 1. I remember he only had it for like 2 days before I'm like, "Give me your Dreamcast, let me play it." And I remember I did get a lot farther. I think I made it to the final Knuckles stage just because getting the Emerald pieces is
Knuckles
just
stages
stupid.
are awful. in
But I
Sonic
did make it a
Adventure
lot
2.
farther, and I do remember enjoying it more. But yeah, and shout out to Adam Korlick, my favorite YouTuber. Thank you, and if you want to go check him out, go ahead and do it because he has everything on the Dreamcast, a lot of information, a lot of everything. Good person to check out, and thank you for that.
Yeah, I'd say Adam Korlick probably gave you your love for the Dreamcast. That was probably it because
His generation overviews, especially on every console, I was like, whoa, this guy knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, he owns every game for the Dreamcast, doesn't he?
Yep.
Every single game.
And I think most of
All
like,
regions.
the fan games too, yeah. And like pretty much every accessory, like he has like 99% of stuff for the Dreamcast.
Yeah, it's amazing. Definitely go check out his channel. Definitely inspired us to start collecting and all that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, final thing, happy 25th birthday to the
Happy
Dreamcast.
25th birthday, Dreamcast.
Thank you guys for watching.
Changed our lives for the better.
Peace out.